English, mother.
Hello everyone, this is Hugo, and I welcome you all to the first video essay of mine. Today we're going to be talking about mobile game ads, or more specifically, the most god-awful mobile game ads. We've all seen them. They have cringy captions like, "Why is this game so hard?" And another sign of a terrible mobile game ad is in the demonstration, quotes emphasized. They can't seem to do the most simplest of things, like spell late, or figure out what makeup is, or even spell a simple word after working out a word that is more than 5 letters. But the worst part of these ads is that they are misleading. For instance, take a look at this detective game. The demonstration makes you think this could be some mildly entertaining spot the difference game, but then you play the game and it's so god-awfully boring. Now, I like to point out that the footage of these ads and gameplays aren't recorded by me. They are all posted by YouTuber i3stars, who has made a YouTube career out of showcasing awful mobile game ads, and what really lies underneath them. So say we look at a video of his, like, I don't know, mobile game ads in 2010, sure thing, I bet it's gonna say stuff like, "I bet you can't find Bin Laden," or something like that. No, I know these games. The ads make them look interesting, but does the actual game hold up? Why, yes! The game plays like it does in the ad. The ads don't have all that memetic crap. They show actual gameplay, and they make it look fun because, in the end, the games themselves are fun. Fast forward 9 years, and it's all been reduced to utter crap. Like, again, how do you spell both tattoo and glasses so easily and misspell an easy word like chain? But that doesn't matter, because the game itself is just some boring word game with cutscenes just barely resembling the ads. But how is it, though, that mobile gamers have evolved from this into this? Well, I'm gonna say that it has something to do with one thing and one thing only. New mobile game ads aren't just that fun anymore. Now sure, there are some exceptions, but when you take the cringy ads and compare them to the actual gameplay, you can see that the creativity in these games are lackluster, so they create these facades to portray the games as more fun than they actually are. Now, I'm not saying this form of cringy and false advertisement is new, and I doubt this form will end anytime soon, but that said, there has to be some filter Google or Apple has to hide these dishonest cringy ads, like, isn't there? Well, then we're all screwed. Anyway, thank you all for watching. New video essays whenever. New YouTube Nation next week. July 2018 videos the week after next week, and July 2019 end of month the week after next week after next week. So I'll see you soon. In 2015, YouTube celebrated its 10th anniversary on the internet, a special event that was exemplified in that year's YouTube Rewind. The 2015 YouTube Rewind itself seemed to mark the website's high point, as it seemed that YouTube would be going downhill from here. Yes, we are entering YouTube's dark age. A period has gone on since at least 2015. This is the period that has been marked with turmoil on the website, with YouTube's executives seemingly becoming out of touch with the user base, both mainstream media and established celebrities seemingly having strong influence over YouTube and its creators, and discontent within the YouTube community over drama and questionable content. The trouble all likely began around 2015, which again is the 10th anniversary of YouTube's presence on the internet. This year marked an influx of quote-unquote news channels, which didn't actually report news, but instead covered the unusually large amount of drama that plagued YouTube around this time. This fact wouldn't become relevant until 2016, which seemed to be the year for YouTube drama, to the point where it seemed to become more popular than the standard content that's been around for years on the website. As of the publishing of this video, YouTube drama has far from vanished. In fact, seems to only be getting worse, with there now being a prevalent cancel culture going around among content creators and spilling the tea against other big content creators. Meanwhile, there have been other content creator related stuff that have been plaguing the site on top of all this. There were these quote-unquote kids channels that had content that would really supposed to be made for kids. Many YouTubers got into trouble over some anomalies, and many content creators have criticized the show called Invasion of Viners that came to YouTube after Vine shut down in 2017 for flooding the site with clickbaity and questionable content. The real problem encapsulating the whole dark age is YouTube itself. During the dark age, YouTube has made a lot of decisions widely criticized by many of the website's content creators. Not that YouTube didn't do anything controversial in the past, but YouTube has made a lot of weird decisions during the dark age. For one, they attempted to implement the infamous YouTube Hero system, which many argued was elitist and would lead to censorship of videos that the heroes did not like. YouTube also got rid of many legacy features to appeal to their mobile users, among of which were annotations. Recently, they have also announced that they would abbreviate and hide live subscriber counts in response to subscriber wars, which led to backlash among people that relied on websites to keep track of subscriber counts. Even worse, many believe YouTube is now nothing but a safe haven for mainstream media and established celebrities, and is slowly becoming out of touch with YouTube's user base. This allegation is exemplified in the 2018 YouTube Rewind, which prominently featured Will Smith and various late-night talk show hosts. The same Rewind contains trends that were seen as unpopular or oversaturized. This led to many to believe that YouTube was doing this to appeal to advertisers worried about adversive content on the website, and underlined the idea that the website is slowly declining financially. Despite all of this, various attempts to find an alternative to YouTube have failed, and there are many reasons why, according to the uploader of this video. One is that not all is bad with YouTube, as it is still the go-to place to watch videos featuring acts that are very much unique in what's featured. Another is that many older YouTubers have seen a renaissance in popularity, or have now just gotten popular when they didn't in YouTube's early days. And lastly, YouTube is still a place to get easily noticed. Sure, it might take a while given the amount of established YouTubers, but all in all, if you want to be seen on the internet in a breeze, YouTube is the place for you. Perhaps someday soon, YouTube will work things out and reconcile with advertisements in the user base, but until then, we can only hope. Thank you all for watching the final history part. We will be moving into the government of YouTube starting next month. New episodes every second Saturday of the month. Please be sure to subscribe and hit this bell for more content, and I'll see you around. The month is July. The year is 2019. And this is a new end of month video for July 2019. Hello everyone, this is Hugo. Glad to see you all again. July was quite a crazy month, so let's just see why. A trailer for a new film called Cats was released, and it really rivals the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie for the best CGI visuals. Speaking of movies, this month, Avengers Endgame became the highest grossing film of all time, ending Avatar's reign as such after nearly a decade, although to be fair, no one really cares about Avatar anyway. In politics, U.S. President Donald Trump has somehow managed to become Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, which is pretty weird, I must say. Away from politics, though, and for some sad news, Pyrocynical will no longer be able to use Whitewood's Beach Rock song in his videos due to copyright, not from Whitewoods themselves, but from Sony. God bless YouTube. Anyway, depressing news aside, Westcom has become irrelevant. And finally, to cap off this month, Old Town Road has tied for the most weeks spent at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. 16 weeks, that ties with Despacito and One Sweet Day, and could potentially span 17th week and break that record. That's irrelevant, but to everything, but just needed something as a closure for the news segment of this end of month video. Anyway, let's talk about Hugbox TGM for this month. Not too much on the channel growth. Has become a little stagnant over this past month, but on the bright side, this channel now has over 8 million views. I didn't get to talk about that milestone up until now, but it does make me happy seeing people continuing to watch my videos and to help it grow, so I do thank you all for that. As for next month, I'm going to begin my senior year in high school. It shouldn't affect my Saturday output, which is good because I do have things ready for next month. The first Saturday will be another video essay, which is going to be on Apple's planned obsolescence. The second Saturday will be we'll start the second chapter of YouTube Nation, where we will dive into the government of YouTube. The third Saturday will of course be another Hugbox Classics video. The extra fourth Saturday will be an actual gameplay of Five Nights at Freddy's to commemorate its 5th anniversary. The fifth and last Saturday will be another end of month video, and the cycle continues from now until the end of everything. Anyway, hope you all are looking forward to all of that. I sure will. Thank you all for watching me in July, and I'll see you in August. Hello everyone, this is Hugo, and today we're going to be talking about Apple. You know them as the first American company to be valued at over $1 trillion, and for making the most smartest decisions in corporate history. But regardless of what you think of Apple, you cannot deny that they push a high priority on innovation, which led to interesting new technologies, such as the iPhone, which certainly did reinvent the phone as we know it, and more recently, a credit card that resides entirely on your Apple device or as a secure titanium card. However, where Apple truly perfects innovation is with its software. Take macOS for example. It just seems that each year adds more and more to the experience of an operating system that's been around for over 3 decades. However, with all this innovation, it does tend to leave with lacking performance on legacy devices, which leads to their obsolescence when the new version of the software can no longer function on an older hardware, which leads to the subject of this video essay. Apple is notorious for the product obsolescence for the other hardware, and to just clearly demonstrate the product obsolescence, we need to look no further than our iOS devices. The first version of iOS was released alongside the first iPhone in 2007. By the time iOS 3 was released, the operating system supported 6 devices, including the first iPhone, its contemporary successors, and the 3 devices in the iPod Touch line. However, features for iOS 3 was limited on the first generation iPhone and iPod Touch, not just due to performance issues, but also Apple needed a way to get more sales from their new devices. This gave the company justification to discontinue all support for these first generation devices in early 2010, just months before the first iPad was released, which came with a specialized version of iOS 3. iOS 4 had the same situation, with the second generation iPhone and iPod Touch being feature limited and later unsupported, along with the second generation iPad being released. Again, this was all done not just because of performance issues, but also because Apple needed more revenue for their new devices, which were fully featured. This tradition would end with iOS 5, and Apple's obsolescence strategy became very confusing, with the third generation iPod Touch and the simulated first generation iPad being unsupported after this release, but not the concurrent iPhone. This situation was made more confusing since there was a new iPod Touch released alongside Apple's 5th generation iPhone. iOS 6 exacerbated this confusion, and as while a 5th generation iPod Touch was finally released, a new iPad variety, the iPad mini, was released alongside the 4th generation iPad, making it difficult to keep track of all iOS devices. Both the 3rd generation iPhone and the 4th generation iPod Touch was to see their support end with this release, just in time for iOS 7, which was released alongside a new Air variant of the iPad, and no new version of the main iPad line, and support for the 4th generation iPhone ending. Any device that could run iOS 8 could work to run iOS 9, giving Apple the opportunity to finally kill off support for many devices for iOS 10, including the 5th generation iPhone and 5th generation iPod Touch, wow, and the 2nd generation iPad, which was the longest supported iOS device at the time, the 3rd generation iPad, and the 1st generation iPad mini. By iOS 11, only 64-bit devices supported the operating system, and with not much else to that, iOS 12 did not drop support for any devices. However, the same cannot be said for iOS 13, which will drop support for devices with just 1 GB of RAM, that being the 7th-ish generation of iPhone, and a plethora of devices that were able to run iOS 7. Now, I'm aware that was a pretty long one, and it might seem irrelevant to the subject being Apple's product obsolescence, but I bring all this up because it does tie into why Apple does make their products obsolete, mainly because they need more money, but when you consider that iOS 13 will not be available for any iOS 7 era devices because of the now minimum 2 GB of RAM requirement. It could mean that iOS 13 is adding so much that the other devices won't just be able to handle it. And heck, the iOS 2 era devices could not get iOS 5 because it appeared those devices had performance issues in iOS 4, which resulted in Apple cutting down features on the latter version so it could even work on those devices, as it probably would have been a pain to use iOS 4 on the first generation of iDevices. So while Apple's way of unsupporting the old devices may seem random and inconsistent, it's very much justifiable, since as long as the software's capabilities continue to grow, the legacy devices just won't be able to handle all the new features from update after updates. In the end, the message from Apple is clear: buy our new products, please. Thank you all for watching this video essay. New video essays whenever. YouTube Nation next week. Hugbox Classics the week after next week. FNAF the week after next week after next week. And end of month the week after next week after next week after next week. Yes. And I'll see you soon. For the past 3 months, we've taken a look at YouTube's tumultuous 14-year history. Now, for the next few months, we are going to look into YouTube's government, which will cover YouTube's operations, CEOs, and quote-unquote emperors. YouTube is a subsidiary of Google, which in turn is owned by conglomerate Alphabet. This distinction allows YouTube to work across platform with other Google services like the now defunct Google+, Gmail, and many other services. YouTube itself operates several different products, mainly YouTube's main operation, YouTube Go, YouTube Music, YouTube Premium, and YouTube TV. YouTube's main operation is the core of the entire video streaming platform, showing different types of videos based on a user preference. YouTube Go is the mobile variant of this main service, primarily targeted at developing nations, which adds features not found in the main YouTube mobile app, including the ability to preview videos, options for video resolution, and so on. YouTube Music is the video platform's music streaming service, which allows users to browse through songs based on preferences and allows for ad-free playback, audio-only background playback, and downloading songs for offline playback. YouTube Premium is, well, YouTube's premium variant, but it allows users to watch exclusive content and videos ad-free with the addition of offline playback. YouTube TV is the video platform's over-the-top or OTP internet television service that allows users to watch live television, on-demand video, and DVR. The YouTube TV lineup includes every major American broadcast network and many cable channels. So that is all of YouTube's operations, all of which structure the website's functionality. Next month, we'll go into YouTube CEOs and the reputation that they have on their website. In the meantime, that is it for this part of YouTube Nation. New episodes every second Saturday of the month. Please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more content. I'll see you around. Hello everyone, this is Hugo. Today, in honor of Five Nights at Freddy's 5th anniversary, we're going to be playing Five Nights at Freddy's. Here we go. So this game is very easy. Once you get the strategy down, I'll show you the strategy I personally use for this game. So what you're going to have to do on all these nights is will just follow me. It's very easy. So you close this door right here. These are the doors. Close that door and close this door, and just wait. It's really that easy.
Hello? Hello? I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night. I actually worked in that office before you. I'm finishing up my last week now, as a matter of fact, so I know it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm here to tell you there's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. So let's just focus on getting you through your first week, okay? Let's see. First, there's an introductory greeting from the company that I'm supposed to read. It's kind of a legal thing, you know. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days, or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced. Blah, blah, blah. Now, that might sound bad, I know, but there's really nothing to worry about. The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night, but do I blame them? No. If I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too. So remember, these characters hold a special place in the hearts of children, and we need to show them a little respect, right? Okay. So just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the bite of 87. Yeah, it's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know? Now, concerning your safety, the only real risk to you as a night watchman here, if any, is the fact that these characters, if they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. Now, since that's against the rules here at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the suits themselves weren't filled with cross beams, wires, and animatronic devices, especially around the facial area. So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death. The only parts of you that would likely see the light of day again would be your eyeballs and teeth that pop out the front of the mask. Yeah, they don't tell you these things when you sign up. But hey, first station of the breeze. I'll chat with you tomorrow. Check those cameras and remember to close the doors only if absolutely necessary. Gotta conserve power. Alright, good night.
Alright, once you've done that, you can close out this game because, to be fair, this game is very old and no one cares about it anymore, and it really sucks. The strategies in this game suck, everything sucks about it, and it's amazing how I got sucked into this playing this game when I was 12 years ago, like 5 years ago. Hello everyone, this is Hugo. We're starting this video off on a very solemn note. YouTube is killing off exact subscriber counts next month, even though no one asked for the subscriber counts to be killed off. So at this time, will we all please stand for a moment of silence in mourning of another great YouTube feature needlessly removed. Anyway, let's get on to the events of this month of August 12, 2019. Old Town Road finally ended its reign at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, being replaced by Bad Guy and some other song no one cares about. Lots of casualties this month, let me tell you. That Dell movie I mentioned months earlier, it was released this month to surprisingly decent reviews, which is pretty neat, but not as neat as Doritos deciding, hey, you know what Gen Z totally hates? Brands. And then they decided that they won't show any brands on their packages because apparently Gen Z hates brands. Okay, if that's a fake generational stereotype you want to invent, go for it. But anyway, lastly, Pro Jared's making a comeback, I guess. I mean, not that I ever cared for whatever controversy he faced, but good for him. And I have nothing to cap this month off with. So I did upload videos this month. That's all I have to say about that. But anyway, here comes the part where I'll tell you what's the content I'll be putting out on next month. So other than the set schedule of YouTube Nation, Hugbox Classics, and a month every second for third and fourth Saturdays of the month, I will be doing a comparison video between Windows 7 and macOS Snow Leopard on the first Saturday next month. So with that, I will see you all in September. Thank you for watching. macOS Snow Leopard, Windows 7. These are two operating systems that came out 10 years ago in 2009. The two may look identical to their predecessors, as both were released to merely refine the features of said predecessors. However, both are different in their own ways, mainly for their live support, which I'll get to in a long while, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, with all this in mind, was it like living with either operating system in 2009? Are they still functional? Well, for Windows 7, I say yes, considering it is the operating system that runs the laptop I use, and everything seems to be working on it. But my MacBook can also run Snow Leopard, and I've tried it at one point, and it was quite a pain to use with its lack of software and support. But regardless, it would be much more fair to give a side-by-side comparison of these two operating systems, and to get similar performance on the two, I would be running them on VirtualBox, which has good support for both Windows 7 and macOS Snow Leopard. Well, I would do all of that if it weren't stuck on Beachball Purgatory when I try to get Snow Leopard to boot up in VirtualBox. So unfortunately, I won't be doing a side-by-side comparison per se, but I will do a comparison of the two contemporary operating systems. The categories for the comparison include live support, software support, and most importantly, which one is worth it today. Live support for macOS Snow Leopard ended in 2014, meaning no further security updates were made for the operating system. Meanwhile, support for Windows 7 continues up to 2020, and if professional and enterprise users are willing to pony up some money, both support for the operating system can continue up to 2023, giving Windows 7 9 years longer support than Snow Leopard, and it will also probably end support as soon as the next macOS version after Catalina comes out. Software support is very blatant, with common knowledge that any other macOS operating system runs less up-to-date software than most other older Windows operating systems. Case in point, Windows 7 is able to run the latest version of Google Chrome, while the latest version of macOS Snow Leopard is able to run It came out in 2016. Avid gamers that want Snow Leopard, though, are relieved to know that support for Steam ended just New Year's Day this year, 2019. So while it won't be exactly up to date, it will still be very usable for the time being, although Windows 7 gamers cannot run the latest version of the game client anyway. Other noted software, which is not limited to Java, Adobe Creative Cloud, Open Broadcaster software, and uTorrent all work on Windows 7, while none of them will no longer work on Snow Leopard. This all comes to the question, which of the two operating systems are worth it? Well, with Snow Leopard, you have a pretty outdated operating system that has little to no support for virtually every known software these days, but its age may not be all that bad, as some may like the skeuomorphic design of the operating system, and it can also run many other PowerPC apps at a level of compatibility that is easier said than done in Windows 7. That said, if you want a supported operating system with plenty of up-to-date software, the latter is your best choice. And indeed, if you are stuck on Snow Leopard on a very old computer, on an old Mac, you can at least get Windows 7 or 1 via Boot Camp, the details of which I won't get into, but as soon as I get Windows 7 up and running, you have a pretty up-to-date operating system with most of all the latest software supported. Now, all I've said here is pretty subjective, as I admit I haven't had much experience with macOS Snow Leopard. I do hope, however, that I did make this non-convoluted as possible. If I missed anything or got something wrong, I'll find that out and I'll make corrections in the description. In the meantime, that is all I have for this comparison video between Windows 7 and macOS Snow Leopard. Thank you all for watching this video. The next week is YouTube Nation. The week after is Hugbox Classics, and end of month video after that week. So I'll see you soon. As an autonomous corporate entity of Google, YouTube has its own CEOs. The CEOs, like any other Earth nation, serve as the figurehead of YouTube, and as we will see, also subject themselves to scrutiny. So far, the website has had 3 of them, of the CEOs, as Chad Hurley, Salah Kumar, and Susan Wojcicki. Chad Hurley was one of the co-founders of YouTube, along with Steve Chin and John Karam. He would serve as YouTube CEOs for the website's first 5 years between 2005 and 2010, during which he and Chin sold the site to Google and oversaw YouTube's growth as well as its early controversies. Hurley stepped down on August 29, 2010, and was replaced by Salah Kamenga. Kamenga, an Iranian-American, oversaw YouTube slowly integrating into the mainstream, and his tenure was also marked with the rise of YouTube personalities, especially the gamer ones, and more controversies, including the site's integration with Google+, and criticism over the design changes. Kamenga was replaced by Susan Wojcicki on February 5, 2014, which began a new era in YouTube's leadership. By this time, YouTube had been fully integrated into the mainstream and was seen as a viable platform for advertisers, which in the long run helped finance many of the site's content creators. As I said, YouTube CEOs do face a lot of scrutiny, and this idea is no more apparent than looking at the reactions to Wojcicki's tenure as CEO. Many of YouTube's content creators widely criticized Wojcicki for what was seen as creating a dividing line between the edgy content that resonated with some of the site's most popular personalities and advertiser-friendly channels. Wojcicki has also been criticized for censorship of YouTube and tended to keep advertisers in line with promoting their services while disintegrating YouTube's core content. Until the next CEO comes along, the lane of complaints against YouTube's current leadership will likely continue to go along, even if changes are made during this period. This is it for the CEOs of YouTube. Next month we will be looking at YouTube's emperors, or YouTube's most subscribed channels. In the meantime, that is it for YouTube Nation. Next week will be another Hugbox Classics from September 2018, followed by the end of month video in a week after. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, this is Hugo. Welcome to the end of September. Let's talk about this month. YouTube finally abbreviated the subscriber count, so Social Blade looks like absolute trash now, and which is all I have to say about that. People are getting angry over the upcoming Joker movie, and I have no idea why. The Area 51 raid happened, and no one cared. PewDiePie's young cousin took to the stage at the UN, so that's pretty cool. And finally, speaking of PewDiePie, he received his 100 million subscriber play button, which looks exactly like YouTube's standard play button, but whatever. Anyway, as for this channel this month, not much. I really do doubt anything really special is coming up in October, since I don't really have any good video ideas for the first Saturday next month. That said, it could change, so just stay tuned and find out what's going to happen. In the meantime, that's all for September. I'll see you in October.